All right, let's talk about Colton Herta.
Yeah.
Obviously, signing a test deal, test driver, and some of the things out there. I think with the new FIA testing rules, you have to do 2 free practices during the season or something like that. So at some point, we will see him on track doing some things besides the behind the scenes stuff, which he gets to either race last year's car or prior to that. So pick one of those cars, but I have a feeling
That's for the initial test. That's for
that's
testing.
correct.
Yeah, so they can go test the older cars. In this case, it's 1 year old because they've got brand new cars that are completely different.
That's right.
So he's able to test that, and depending on how well he does in that, then he'll have the opportunity to do at least 2 of the rookie Friday practices.
That's right.
And if he does well in that, that gets his license where it needs to be, which is, crock of crap, to me. But then in the end, it's the way it is. That's their FIA rules. So let them have their FIA rules. Herta had, plenty of experience in Europe. He was able to race in Europe, do well. He's done everything very well. And it's not going to hurt him at all, the fact that these new F1 cars are much harder to drive, much heavier, much more like an Indy car. Indy cars are very, very hard to drive. So I don't see Herta having a lot of trouble coming up to speed in terms of the weight of the car. It's just the technology of the car, all of the switching and all of the shenanigans. There is our word again. The shenanigans that go on with all the technology. It's coming to grips with that. I think is going to be hardest for him.
Okay. Obviously, he runs with Andretti Autosport in INDYCAR. How does this tie in, if at all, to the the F1 Andretti deal being put together behind the scenes and what they're trying to do and try to get, obviously they've come up with the funds. They're able to do all the right paperwork, to due diligence, if you will, to get to where they need to be. How does this come into play that he's happens to be an Andretti driver here?
Well, I think it's one of those situations where Zach Brown has said, this is a good thing for America. He runs McLaren, but he's the only team that runs IndyCar and F1. And he's given Herta a shot. And there may be a reason for that. I mean, Andretti and Zach Brown, McLaren, actually have a deal in Australian supercars. They're partners. So they've already done business together. So it's not a stretch to think that way. I mean, you've got what is the young guy's name? It's escaping me. It's one of McLaren's drivers in IndyCar. Can't remember his name.
Ah, shoot! Now you're going to drive me nuts. Now,
yeah, whatever the case may be. It strikes me as a good thing. Zach Brown looks good. McLaren looks good in F1 and in IndyCar. It's good for America. That's part of the deal. It's the right thing to do. And hats off to Zach for doing it.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Some of these situations that you have with IndyCar and the drivers there, like an Alexander Rossi, who I thought, back when we were doing race day on Fox, he was talked about going to F1 and being the next American driver to hit the scene, but it never really went anywhere, though. It didn't, obviously.
It was in a crap mobile. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, it wasn't a minority, but it was damn close. It was a back running car. Scott Speed, same thing. I mean, you can't show what you can do. Look at George Russell, okay? Russell's in a Williams. They're at the back of the field, damn near the back of the field. He substitutes for Hamilton in one of the Mercedes, and he damn near wins the race. So the car does have a lot to do with it. The new cars they're having a lot more difficulty coming to grips with this new car than they've had when they went to the hybrid era. Mercedes had it nailed down. We'll see at Bahrain when those lights go out. We'll see who's got what. At least the start.
Going back to the go ahead, sorry.
It's the same thing. It's going to be the third or fourth race before you see how well these teams have come together and gelled and begun to come to grips with the new, not necessarily the new rules, but the new formula.
Yeah. Pat Award is one of the drivers that, and Felix Rosenquist. Yes. Those are the two drivers for Arrow McLaren.
How the hell can I miss Pato Award and
Dude,
get Rosenquist? I mean, God,
I got to tell you, Award is on it, man. He's like,
he wants it bad.
Yeah, he's impressive as a young guy. Also, to me, Alex Palou is one of those guys as well that I find very interesting to watch.
I would very much like to see at least her to get a shot at it. It could be the same thing as when Michael went to Formula One. He was an American. He was mistreated. He was. Even Senna came up. Even Senna, his teammate, said, "You're not treating him the same way you do me." So you got to hand it to Senna for at least admitting the truth. But we'll see how Colton does. I think with Zach Brown helping and Andretti, I think one way or another, Andretti's going to make his way in. The team principals have now begun to change their minds a bit on Andretti coming into the scene. They just want to make sure that it's a team that's worthy of being there. Well, God bless Gene Haas, but if Andretti can't make a car, can't produce an automobile that will compete with Haas and the rest, something's wrong here.
Listen, I do think the Andretti thing's going to happen. I do think an American driver, if we were in this situation today and a Michael Andretti came over there, or even, listen, let's say Marco was up to speed and the name was able to come over, with having 2 or 3 races in the U.S., that changes things a lot on the global scale. Yes, totally.
All about money.
Yeah, and I think that's why you will see things like that happen, and you will see an American driver get the respect and be able to compete over there, because this market is important to the global for F1 globally.
Ferrari, for Mercedes,
all of them.
All of them.